Hi, I'm Ralph. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm doing bison ribeye steaks. Here's what they look like. Now it's a fairly good marbling for a bison, but these are also expensive. I don't want to screw this up. They're not especially thick, so you can't do a lot of the other ways that you might do a steak. You could put it into a skillet, but you run the risk of overcooking it pretty quickly. So I think the best way to treat this and get it as good as possible and as tender as possible is we're going to be doing a sous vide tonight. Now I have already salted these. I know sometimes if I don't show you, you don't believe it, but trust me, there is some salt still showing on there. I did do it, and it was like an hour and a half ago, so I wanted to make sure that the salt did its job of osmosis, bringing moisture out of the steak and then reabsorbing that moisture back into the steak. And it seems to have done a pretty good job there. Now let me just kind of pat these dry. Now while I've got a regular food sealer, a lot of people don't. So I'm going to be using the immersion method here. Now, just from handling this steak, now I said that bison can be a little bit tougher meat to deal with, and it looks like the butcher shop probably put this through some sort of a tenderizing process because it looks kind of like it's falling apart a little bit. So they probably ran it through one of those machines that tenderized it a little bit. And so this should come out pretty decent. I'm going to be putting these, because they are a little bit floppy here, because of I think that mechanically tenderized action that the butcher shop did, might be a little bit easier to place in here with the spatula. When you're doing this immersion method, you're going to be using freezer bags, because freezer bags, besides being good for the freezer, if you read the boxes, they're also good for heat. Not drastic heat, obviously you're not going to be putting them into the oven or anything like that, but they're okay for using with sous vide. And you'll also notice there's no those microplastics that are going to be coming out in the hot water, the PFAs, whatever the term is. So they are safe for doing this type of style of cooking. Now, the immersion method. You're sticking the steak in the bag, you're sticking the bag in the water. You're going to zip that lid most of the way. You're going to sink this down into the water. Get most of that bag in there, except for that little corner that is not locked yet, and now you're basically going to lock that. Just double check. When you pull it out, that's pretty well sealed up. I'm going to stick both of those in here. Stick my sous vide cooker into the container here. I'm just going to stick, you could use a bowl depending on the size of your container here. This is not an official sous vide container. It's just a container I found at a restaurant supply. I'm going to stick this in the center just to kind of keep our steaks in place, keep them from blocking the sous vide mechanism here. I'm going to set the temperature, and I'm going to set that because I want to leave room, because when it comes out of here, it's going to be pretty dull looking meat. You're going to need to put a sear on it. So I'm going to drop that down to about 118 degrees. That way there's plenty of room when I put it on to sear it for the temperature to rise up and still to come out medium rare, because rare, medium rare, moving on into medium is going to help give you a more tender steak than a medium well to well done. That's just going to kind of toughen your meat up, and a cut that is basically known to be a little bit tougher to begin with, or because it's leaner, I want to make sure that it's going to be as tender as possible. This is going to be in here for a couple of hours. I will check back with you then, and we're going to see how this turns out and get ready for the sear. We are back. I've pulled the steaks out of the sous vide, and I have them in the tray here. I've patted them down to get all the moisture off of them, and I'm ready to take them over to the griddle and start putting some sear on this. So if you join me over there, let's get this done. I've been heating this griddle up. I'm going to move it down to medium-high heat. Get some avocado oil on there. Set the timer for 30 seconds. I'm going to try to flip them about every 30 seconds. These are not real thick steaks. A little bit more avocado oil on them. Time for another flip. And another one. Starting to develop a little bit of sear in here. It's about time to check now. When you check it, don't check it while it's on the cooktop because you're going to be getting some heat. Okay, I'm thinking that they're done. Let's go let them rest, cut them open, see what we got. Okay, now while they're resting, I'm going to be putting a little bit of finishing butter. This is a product, Young butter from the Golden Steer Steakhouse out in Vegas. I've got a link to their site down below. They've got a lot of really good stuff. I've been getting into it lately. This butter is sort of a tangy garlic butter. This should really be good. Let's cut one open, see what we've got. Ooh, that is cutting so nicely. I don't know if it's from the mechanical tenderizing that the butcher did, from the salting and letting it soak in and come out, or from the sous vide. But whatever it is looking like really good. Let me cut off a slice here and show you. Gunner's very anxious. He wants a sample too. Look at that inside. Isn't that beautiful? That is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, Gunner, come get yourself a little taste here. Come here, bud. Come here. Okay. Okay, he's loving it. Now, I don't make a habit of giving him a lot of garlic, but I don't think a little bite's gonna hurt him. Now a little bite from me. Gunner's right. He wants more. I think I want more. This came out really excellent. Gunner's anxious for his meal. So with that said, if you're liking the video, please give me a like down below. Please leave me lots of comments because the best ideas for the show come from the viewers. And if you're thinking about it, maybe consider giving me a subscription. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Till next time. Bye-bye.